For many use cases, VR training is more effective than other forms of training. For doing safety procedures, training soft skills, or even onboarding employees, VR training can be quicker, more effective, and trainees feel more confident after training with VR. But there's also a downside to training with VR, and that is scalability. Managing a lot of headsets for a lot of employees can be very time-consuming. Therefore, we are introducing an even easier way to play immersive learning scenarios. Next to supporting of VR headsets, mobile phones, and tablets, we now also support playing in the web browser on your desktop or laptop without the need to install anything. Hello, I'm Thijs de Vries, CEO of Warp VR, and in today's webinar, we want to discuss our latest update to the Warp VR suite, which is playing on web. Before discussing how playing in the web actually works, let's first dive into a couple of use cases. Although playing in VR headsets is the most immersive experience you can have, it's also difficult in terms of scalability. It can be quite tricky to manage all these different headsets for a lot of employees. Playing training scenarios in the browser is more scalable. Most employees will have access to a desktop or a laptop PC in order to play these training scenarios. And that is great. But the question is also, will it provide the most optimal experience for learners? So let's discuss. When employees need to be trained on high-impact scenarios, we would still advise using VR headsets. When trained with VR, emotions are being felt more real, more intense. Therefore, the knowledge transfer will be better. It will be a better experience. But there are also a lot of use cases where playing in a browser can actually support this. Even with these high-impact scenarios, it can be a good thing to practice in the browser on forehand before actually starting to move to VR. But next to these high-impact scenarios, there are also more information-based scenarios. Scenarios such as a guided tour, maybe an onboarding for a certain employee just starting in a new company, where scalability is key and playing in the browser can have the greatest experience for these learners. In these use cases, we see a perfect fit for browser playback. Now we explained what use cases playing on the web supports, it's time to look into how it works. Playing on the web will be seamlessly integrated into the Warp VR suite. Trainees will get an email when they get an invitation to play one or more training scenarios. And when they click on the play button in that email, they will be directly signed in as that trainee into the web player. From that point on, they can choose whether they would like to play in the browser or whether they would like to play on a VR headset, phone or tablet. And in those cases, we provide easy installation instructions and a 6-digit code in order to sign in into these devices. We record all scenario analytics in Warp Studio, no matter the device that is being used for playback. We even make a note of this in Studio, so you can actually analyze whether performance was better on one device or another. Of course, we don't stop here. We are super excited to launch Playing on Web, and we already have some great feedback from early tests. In upcoming versions, we will make sure that the experience for learners will only get better and better. We will make sure that LMS integration is part of the web player, so that players coming from an LMS, if it's through SCORM, LTI or XAPI, will also have access. We'll make sure that scenarios that have been purchased through our store partners will also be able to play through the browser, including all license management. And we will make it easier to publicly share groups in Warp Studio in order to use them in the browser. Thank you all for attending this short webinar. We are super excited to see what training scenarios you are going to play in the browser. We're curious about your feedback, so please let us know how it works for you. In order to experience the web browser, go to play.warpvr.com if you are a registered trainee, or if you're not and you just want to demo a few VR experiences, please go to warpvr.com/demo and experience playing in the browser from there. Thank you. Goodbye.